let's switch gears a little bit more and tell us about your experience with Work Better Now and a little bit about your assistant, Summer.
Sure. Like many people, for many, many years, I had a full-time dedicated, in my office kind of person. Even going back to, my earlier careers in consulting, I always had a dedicated assistant. My assistant became ill, and it was time for her to move forward in her life. She's fine, fortunately. And so the world had changed. Technology had changed. I met someone who was running a global business from his phone and doing very, very well. Okay, it's an import business. And so I said, be open. Kissed a few frogs in the virtual space, really. And then came across Work Better Now. There are many things I like about it. One is Andrew gets business. And I know you know his background, and I know his background. He really gets business. I think it's a brilliant business model. I was impressed that I got an email from the owner minutes after, doing the landing page. Now, whether he sent it personally, I really don't care. It was the right touch. I was a tough client. Let's just say we had to negotiate their process. Partly because I used to do recruiting. And so I look at resumes differently. And what I really appreciated was their working with me. Summer was not the first assistant I had. The first one, I think we developed so well, she went off and got a great job in the DEI field. And I'm really, really happy for her in that regard. So Summer is relatively new. And when I say relatively new, I think she's been with me about 6 weeks. I really like her maturity, her professional maturity. We walk in a space that's pretty high level, And I say that in humility, but that's just our world. Mm-hmm. So having the right temperament, the right decorum, the right deportment matters. She is a brilliant writer and really, really good at systems, She just kind of quietly organizes things and, all that. And frankly, she can deal with my temperament. I am a really pleasant person, but I'm a classic entrepreneur. We move fast, we talk fast, we got 1,000 things going. And that's not work to me, that's fun. I consider it a blessing that I get to do what I love to do and people actually pay me for it. And she can track with me. In the beginning, I think that she was coming from a space where maybe a little bit more permission was required. And so we had that dynamic tension of, forming and finding each other out, where she was waiting for me to give her the green light. And I was like, well, why isn't it done?
Green, the light's always green here, right?
Yeah, the light's always green. If it needs to turn red, you better tell me, okay? But what I really appreciated about her is it was never contentious. And this is where her maturity came in. She just kept digging and digging and digging. And frankly, I needed somebody who's strong enough to deal with me. If you know anything about the DISC and the Myers-Briggs and all that kind of thing, Summer and I are polar opposites. We are literally polar opposites.
That's perfect.
And that's what makes us a powerful team. And because diversity is my work, if I can't work, she is exactly what I needed. And I would say is having tremendous impact in the first 6 weeks. I told her, I said, Summer, it's going to take you full 90 days to figure out what I do. So, we're not aspiring to perfectionism. Here's the sandbox. Don't do this, don't do that, and you'll be fine. If you make a mistake, we recover. So I'm really, really enjoying working with her.
That's terrific to hear. And thank you for sharing. Olivet, what do you like to do when you're not working?
Some of my friends would say, it depends on how you define work. I don't have, I do garden. I love gardening. I'm an avid gardener. But I'm more of a dilettante. I remember reading a book years ago called The Renaissance Woman. I said, that's me. I have a lot of interests. So during the pandemic, I was taking a raw food course. I'm a vegetarian and I love raw food. I said, I'll do a raw food course online because they hadn't been offered online before. Now I'm taking a home decorating course online, having a ball with it. So I'm a lifelong learner in that regard. Before the pandemic, I was very involved with my church. I still am, except we're just getting back to full swing in terms of some of the, we call them auxiliaries, some of the, the ministries that I used to serve in. Some made it to virtual transition, some just got put on pause. But my best day is a day where I can go sit on the beach, stare at the ocean, and ponder the wonders of the world. We were in a group, look, I shouldn't say this on camera, but it's so true. We were in a group thing doing an icebreaker with some people I dearly love. It was one of those things that you describe someone and then the others had to guess who it was. Everybody knew me. They said, Olivet's perfect day is somewhere in a mountain overlooking the ocean with a cup of tea and not another human being around. And 35 people said, that's Olivet. So I enjoy my company. And I guess that's what I do when I'm not working. I just kind of meander and do what I feel like, yeah. Because my work is so structured, we run back to back,
Sure.
All of us. That's what I do, is figure out what do I want to do today without that pressure of structure and time. That's where I recharge.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing.